Welcome back. This is the Big Conversation, and today we're asking, what should you really know before saying I do? Is love enough? Is sex enough? Is prayer enough? What do you wish someone had told you before marriage? Join me and our panelists who have, of course, seen marriage from the front row, from the counseling room to the courtroom to their own living rooms. We're going to be getting into this conversation. Ladies, if there is one thing, one thing, and I'm taking a pause because I really want you to think about it. If there's one thing you wish that someone had told you before you got, and I'm going to start with Osare because
okay, she's the youngest.
It's because I'm
youngest wife.
No, even if you were in Mokola, I would call you because of course you're the newest to this. You probably remember. If there's something you wish someone had told you, what would it be?
To be honest, I think I probably would even need like a longer time to think.
Really?
But if there's maybe something to what I probably
Still
would
in
say.
honeymoon stage.
No, wait. What I probably would have said, I was actually told.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Like every day will not be rosy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there will be days where you're like, this is the same person, right? All of those things, knowing that, you need to put some extra work.
So you really got that information and it was timely.
I did.
Fantastic. What about you, Chisom?
Why did you
What is it? Why are you people running away? Listen, this conversation is going to be raw, so don't worry.
I actually have
What do you
to. I actually
think?
have to. Just that I feel like the first or the second one. Okay, so let me say the first one about pregnancy and what to expect.
Oh.
So I feel like our parents don't like telling us the truth about all of that pain, and they just want to measure your threshold by the time you get there. Maybe you wing it, maybe not. You should have
Really?
told us.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they tell us, some of us will bowl out.
You know,
As
out
well
of-
out of
people,
fear.
people are already in that euphoria of, I'm going to be a wife.
Exactly.
I'm not
Don't
sure
wanna
there's
burst their bubble.
anything. So, the reason that question is important to me is I'm not sure there's anything anyone would tell anyone about marriage because there's somewhere your head is at
it's many- it's
when
so-
you're
it's
about
many
to
go
get
on the
married.
clouds.
That even if you get some information, you won't process it the same way you process it after.
That's true.
For me, one thing I've always heard is how you shouldn't let the sun set on your anger. Make sure you settle it. Make sure you, and I don't think I needed that advice because, come on, you're going to make it worse. That's one thing I've noticed, and it's important for communication to understand your partner's communication. What's it called? Communication method.
Yes.
Really. So when I heard that it's important to settle it, and at night or maybe even the afternoon the fight started, and then later you will not sleep, and you make it grow bigger and bigger.
Just go to bed.
Unfortunately, it makes it worse.
Yes.
And it would have been better if you had just slept
Let
on
it
it,
go.
cleared your air, or maybe even
Come with a fresh air
taken a
in the
walk
morning.
or something. So now let's look at.
Did you allow me as
I'm not finished though. I'm not finished though. Many one.
Wait.
Let me finish my own.
Let Ron tell us. Wait, you people want to?
I don't want to know what I wish I was told.
What do you
I
wish you're
wish I was
told?
told that you would not be having sex like rabbits. Just like
Hey.
your hormones and your libido before you get married. It's like, so nobody tells you that when you get married, life will get in the way and you're not going to be able to have sex like how you imagine every day, morning, evening, after. Just each other.
That's what you were thinking before
That's
you
what,
got married.
So
Okay.
nobody told me.
Okay.
And a lot of couples are thinking that too, that you're going to just be, especially those who have sort of abstained before marriage. You think, we're just going to just do it everywhere. But unfortunately, life happens.
I wish
just thought
DT were here.
Exactly.
I'm sure she would beg to differ on
Exactly.
that note.
It's our mommy.
But
Exactly.
Chisom, you wanted to give me one other one.
One other one is the finances. You see, that's very,
Finances.
very important. My sister, Jumoke, will agree with me. She was on this table.
Yeah.
Because that conversation, most people don't have it.
So true.
So they wing it, and when they get in, it's like a trap.
Because you assume, a lot of women assume.
Assume.
So
Assumption.
let's talk about
Life of
finances,
assumption.
where you just stopped now. Finances can be very tricky in the sense that your ideas about how money should be managed is different from the
Or
other
how money
person.
should come in.
Source of income, livelihood, and
How
all
you
that
spend,
can be
where it's
different.
kept.
So, what kind
It's
of
kept.
conversations do you think intending couples should have Because, I mean, I know that a lot of people have deal breakers. If we get married, what are your deal breakers? Some people say, we cannot be broke. If we're broke, I'm out. You know? So what kind of conversations regarding finances do you think are really important, Chisom?
Right. So it's in so many ways, but importantly, how many children should we have? Because if we are going to have only one child or no child at all, finances may not be a problem. Because by the time, I mean, there's nobody's going to be at home to take care of anybody. But if we're going to have 6 children, 7 children, it's really important we talk about this conversation. Because sometimes when the woman has already had like 3, say, madam, you're not done. No.
Okay.
Do you understand? You get that? So society and the family has decided you are not done. So you need to go again. And then meanwhile, she's struggling with her career. She's trying to fit in. And then she's also managing the children. So for me, it's more like having all of these conversations together. You can't even have one and not have the other.
Right.
Still on finances, Ronke, a lot of people talk about joint accounts. In fact, some people start practicing it before they get married, where they have a savings account and everybody's dropping something in there. We've heard about couples who this has, at the end of the day, bitten in the back. So do you think in a bid, because I mean, I think it's always about solution for me, I don't know about others. So when you're having a finance conversation before marriage, do you think a joint account is a good idea when you're about to go into it? Okay.
I think whatever works for the couple is a good idea. And that's why for me, just going from what Chisom said, the premarital counseling we have in church and sometimes is not
Obsolete.
real. It's good. Biblical. It's good to tell the person to be a woman, to be a virtuous man. But real talk, and I was privileged to have had one of those counseling. I had the church counseling, then I had a proper counselor counseling with my husband. You know, so those are things that we talked about. So you cannot determine based on your job, based on your career, is joint account going to work for us as a family? Or is it something you're just doing because, everybody should do it? So I feel like everyone should really sit down and talk candidly and honestly about what will work for our family. So for me, joint account could work for somebody else, but may not work, for me.
Oh, sorry, what about the trust factor in having a joint account?
I mean, to be very honest, if you see yourselves, going into marriage, there should be some level of trust, right? But maybe society has portrayed, maybe also from people's personal stories that, there's a situation where the woman or the man would wipe the whole account. So one of them is still keeping secret money somewhere for the day that something like that
which a lot of our
happens.
parents told us. You have to have,
right?
fixed money. You have to have money somewhere.
Precisely. So I think, to be honest, it really is God that we help them because you really also don't know the true intent of the person until something like that happens.
Other than what you know.
Other than what you know, because this is still, until you get married, you'll still be learning and knowing more about the person. But, just touchlighting what she had said, maybe because, like, I'm young, right? And before we got married...
We're all young.
I'm
younger.
We're all young.
I'm younger.
We're all young, but I'm younger, yes. And before I got married, we had established the fact that, yes, there will be church counseling, but we wanted that intentionality because there are things that, the church pastor, the church counselor might not be comfortable to say. Or would say it with half mouth because I should not be heard saying it. So even before we did church counseling, we already started counseling, initially, right? And this was, so someone like a mentor to us who would not hide what he needs to say, would not mince words or anything, and we're giving exercises, assignments, to report, practical sessions, and then prayer sessions, of course. So when we now even did church counseling on his side, did church counseling on my side, we saw that, thank God that we actually did. Maybe that's why I'm saying for now, I can't really think of what I wasn't told before because to some level, I'm just 2 years in, to some level, I've, either heard a part or heard in full. So that is the cocoa.
And I wanted to, Ayo, because oftentimes a lot of couples don't have difficult conversations. And I think that's why, whether it's about finances, whether it's about sex, we don't have difficult conversations before we take a huge leap like marriage. So I don't know, it's something that I
Is there a reason people don't have that conversation?
Because our heads are in the cloud, or we have rose-colored glasses.
I was about to get
you're
to
doing
that.
something, you're getting married.
There's so many things in people's pasts that they have challenges talking about with their partner. There are people who have kids, who had kids maybe when they were in school and now have the kids with their parents. But because maybe they think they have something good going, they don't want to mess it up, choose to hide that. People who maybe have had abortions, people who maybe, and so you have these things in your mind, but you just don't feel comfortable enough to have that conversation. What would you say to... Because I think, well, maybe from movies, you see that people struggle with these things. They think about it, should I not? But eventually they decide, you know what, let me just hold on to it. Unfortunately, most times it will come back and bite them in the back. So how can hard conversations like these ones be broached?
Okay, so the thing is, with people who have struggled getting married and having all of these issues from previous life choices, you find out that they want to dive in first. When we get there, we can swim with sharks. But because they feel like if they say this, they rat themselves out, literally, it might end without them getting in.
But even if they don't rat themselves out, if eventually it comes out, they are going to...
Yeah, because they know where they're coming from, and they really don't want to... They feel like this is the one good thing that's about to happen to them. And why mess it up with my past? All things are passed away.
But a baby is not going to pass away.
But you know what?
Eventually they will find out.
I'm a spiritual person. Let me not say religious. I'm a Christian, I'm a spiritual person. But I find it bizarre how Nigerians hide behind spiritual stuff, religion, to be in denial. Nobody is saying denial. Yes, because a lot of people, there are men who know that they are impotent, who will marry and then say, there are women who know maybe they don't have fallopian tubes, who know
you talked about the people who are changing their genotype, or what's
exactly,
that? Just
thank
some
you.
days ago.
The people who know they are SS, but they will lie that they are AA just to marry this person, or just because I know God will do it eventually. No, God will do it, but tell me about it. Don't hide it and tell me God. Let's know together that God will do it. I remember when we had this counseling that we had. I remember, because everyone who knows me knows I kind of like marriage was peculiar. So when we talked about this, oh my God, I cried like, and even the counselor was like, okay, cried like a baby, because this was something that if I hadn't cried that cry, oh God, I'll be crying premium. So people talk about me now, my kids, and like, how did you? It was because of those tough conversations we had before, or else it would have been really tough for us, after our marriage. So a lot of people hide behind this spiritual, we will overcome it, we will be well. No, but don't hide it. It will be well, but let's hold hands and let us know it will be well together. Not that you hide it from me.
Now that's one half of the divide, right? The person who has the secret bringing it up into the open. Oh, sorry.
So
if, God forbid, your husband will not bring any weirdness to you, but if you suddenly had to face a hard truth today, how would you handle it? How would you advise people?
Now, like that we're married.
Now that you're married, if he brought something that you didn't hear before marriage,
like
so how do you think, like a 6-year-old child somewhere? Exactly. How do you think people who find themselves in that situation, how do you think they should handle it?
Well, to be honest, I would say this is also something the bringer of the news should take into consideration, that your partner would need time.
Exactly.
To process that kind of information, the weight of the information. You just need time to process it, because it would be a lot. So it is important to take that time to process, because if you miss that, just like they say, don't miss the grief period. If you miss that period and you maybe just mask it with, it is well or whatnot, you would see that it would, come and replay, or project in several ways that could not just affect you, but affect, other things and other people. So first of all, I would say take that period to just process. If you need time away, maybe go and stay with your parents, or stay just to get away from, and properly process that, okay, this is what happened. It is not me. It's not a me thing, right? Just process that.
It is what it is.
Yes. It is what it is. And realize that, okay, from that,
where do we go from
you now have to accept, right, that, okay, this has happened, way forward. And I would be hoping that the bringer of the news would be, willing to give all. I mean, because why you didn't bring it up in the beginning
exactly
is also because that what happened to trust? What else are you hiding?
I don't know if you remember the video that was circulated on Instagram.
The lady that
those
found her daughter,
that found
her
her
husband had a
now,
daughter from.
what you're saying is for people in the minority. What a lot of people do usually is, this is a deal breaker, I'm out. Remember we're having a conversation with Ebo the other day where I was talking about my own deal breakers. If this happens, I'm out. There is no grieving period. There's no, let's look at how this goes. No. So I think there are a lot of women, or maybe even men in some cases, where there are some things that are deal breakers, absolute deal breakers. So for intending couples, what really should be safe deal breakers? What really should they be willing to navigate or talk through? Ronnie, do you want to take that?
Oh my gosh, you should be able to talk through anything, to be honest. It really depends. That's it. I mean, as I've grown as well, there are certain things that used to be deal breakers for me too, that now is like, you know, because for example, let's the elephant in the room, cheating, for example. You know, so it used to be, and I'm saying it now, it used to be, but it used to be a deal breaker that, oh, if you cheat, I'm out. You know, but I think that for everything, there has to be, communication needs to be, communication is important. Then after the communication is done, that we can now determine, okay, what is, you know. So because for me, I'm thinking it's hard. Yes, we tell women to leave. Once you cheat, leave. But in America, that's why in America, for example, or in developed countries, is the person who cheated or the man who leaves, because they know that obviously women are more vulnerable. That's why a lot of people, your husband cheats. In Africa, is the woman that will leave
the house.
But you leave, what's going to happen to your life? It's not easy to now become like a sole financier of whatever are you going to live with your children. So there's things that I now think about that, okay, we're not in America, but if you cheat, you're the one leaving, because I'm not leaving my house for you. And if you're not leaving, then we're going to, do you understand? So I feel like communication is so key in every relationship. There are things you still find out that may not be huge deal breakers, but you find out in mind and you're like, why didn't I know this before we got married? Because I don't think it's realistic to say you will know everything about a person.
For sure.
You know, so there are things that will still spring on you like, oh, I didn't know that. Obviously, it's not like something like hiding a child or hiding that you're impotent, or but there's certain things that will just come and, oh, I didn't know there was someone in your family that has had this struggling with this disease or mental health, because those things are important conversations too. But I think with communication, with communication, there's nothing that cannot be, you know,
the other elephant that should not even be in the room, but is in the room, obviously, is violence, use of drug, abuse, you know, all kinds of abuse that maybe
any
the wife
kind
is
of
not
abuse.
aware of, and then it apparently is now the mainstay, and every day, you know, breakfast. So that, you know, hit a woman, no. Or hit
So
a man,
what should be done in such a situation?
Okay, you come into a relationship with a bad habit. I'm not the one that caused the habit.
We change you.
I'm not the one that caused the habit.
Another big one is, I mean, that I've been seeing on social media is homosexuality, where either the husband is interested in his guys or the woman is interested. So how can really it can be fixed? So that would be an absolute end of the relationship.
It might not be the
Why are you saying right, okay? Do you think it really is the end? Because I mean, you see a lot of all these Joro pages where people are saying, "What can I do in this situation?"
I found out my husband is gay, sleeping with the gates man.
Or his best friend, his best
people,
man.
So, Ronnie said something about cheating. Some women would literally die chasing their husband. I have seen it happen where she drove herself to death just because she was watching. Some people do see some of those things and say, I can live with this. Where I'm coming from, this is better. So it
depends on people's
different strokes for different
trauma.
folks. Some people would rather deal with this than deal with where they're coming from. So it depends.
But if you find out your partner is
gay, there's nothing.
I mean, what do you want to remain?
So it's the work of the devil now.
No,
I will change.
You say age.
I will.
Like, what are you remaining
there
in the
for?
marriage
What are you waiting for?
If maybe the man is not interested in another man.
So I'm thinking it's all about your education. What education are you even coming? What background of education do you have?
I don't understand. The guy is gay.
No. I'm coming. I'm just
Education.
talking in a general sense.
Okay.
If your education says that whatever I see here, social construct has instructed me that whatever I see in this relationship is what I get for life.
Exactly. That's what we're
I have no option.
So true.
I can't get anywhere from here. So whatever you see, you keep it. Zip.
Your MRS. I mean, MRS, Mrs.
No, I'm not quite clear on that. So are you saying
society tells us?
For some people will intentionally stay in there and
Because
just
they
not
have
people
no
stay there.
ignorance is the mother of all. What's the word?
We see.
No. You know, we're sitting here today to, in a way, mold minds. There are people who are genuinely confused. I understand that such moments, I don't think anybody prays for such evil emergencies, because that's what it is for me. So for people who genuinely are looking for a way out, if you're confronted with something like that, because I mean, I don't know which is even greater, in just ordinary cheating or finding out that your rival is even.
Is there red flags? I think one of the things we also need to talk about is, sorry, are there, because some people will say, I didn't know.
Some people don't know.
Aya, can I be honest with you?
Some people don't know.
Can I be honest with you?
Yes.
You want me to be honest?
Yes, please.
There are some women who have been violated, almost died, they've been cheated on, and everything. They had a chance, FIDA or, social associations have defended you, and they ask you, woman, do you want to stay? You say, no. And no, you say, yes, I forgive him.
Yes.
And guess what happens after? The man now devises a way of looping you and making sure they mess you up.
Right.
I've seen it happen not once, not twice, and it happens every day across Africa. And that I say is because of the education that the woman has.
Absolutely.
You do not say because you love somebody who is about to kill you. You stay and wait to die.
And I know that that's even like an extreme case of even cheating. I don't think any woman has any business sleeping with somebody who's cheating. Popular or unpopular opinion. We may still be in the same house because maybe I don't have anywhere to go yet, and so but I don't think because people have caught HIV from husbands that are philanderers.
Culture and tradition
and stuff like that
has messed up a lot of the psyche of young girls who are not educated well. Culture, tradition, social construct has messed up their mind. So once, you have to get married. Once you get married, that's where you stay. Nothing must take you out of your husband's house. You must be an obedient woman. Nothing, prayer, you have to be prayerful. All of that now builds her up, and then when she gets there, zip, she will not say what she's seeing.
Another important aspect to marital life is also the in-laws and
outlaws.
Why did you call them outlaws? Well, some of them.
Some people are outlaws.
I mean, they're the fools indeed. That's what they are. This sometimes it's difficult to see or know who they really are from the outside. It's when you enter that you do. Some of them will begin to show you that side. So for couples, or for ladies, or for men even, because sometimes it's the men who see really crazy things with in-laws. What should they look out for, or what questions can they ask their partner? Please, does your uncle used to...
I personally don't believe that when people say, I didn't know, I personally don't believe
that there will be signs.
When, for example, maybe think, I feel there are always signs, but of course with us ladies, we are super emotional when we are dating. We're not realistic, we're not logical. Maybe they
misinterpret the signs.
Exactly. There are signs, you go to somebody's house and you are, but a lot of women see the signs. They just see them as misinterpret the signs, and then when they get married, they say, I didn't know. I just feel like there are some things that sorry.
Cover it with prayer and inshallah.
Cover it with prayer. So I don't believe that anyone. That's why when you're single, I know your heart is in there, but please use your head. And I know it's tough, but maybe because of the kind of person I've always used half of my heart and half of my head with everything.
I went home to visit my parents some months ago. And we had a conversation about, I really can't remember what brought it on. I think we're talking about how my younger brother, he will soon marry you now, because the first two of us are girls, so now he would be the first boy who will be bringing a girl in the family. And we're just talking about he will soon bring a wife or something, and I want to see how they'll behave and all that. And I don't know what led to the whole, a woman will come to the house, you say they should wash plates, wash clothes. My dad was saying, if they say she should do it, you are supposed to do it. I said, no. If you go and do that, girls, sometimes, we have to have. I told him, I think some time ago, that was a thing. Now, it really is not a, I was talking about how it's not a measure of how responsible a girl is. And he said, yes, he agrees. But, so if she sees your mommy washing something, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Why is my mommy choosing to wash clothes?
I would help.
Ronnie,
yes.
My own point is, see, the same way parents are watching these girls, I think it's the same way girls should watch these parents.
So true.
I think it's a very red flag.
Yes.
We did not surprise you.
Right.
We are coming.
Exactly.
And then suddenly, out of the blue,
we get to the house and
mommy is sweeping.
Plates are all over the scene.
Yes.
There's laundry to be done. there's something to be cleaned. I think it's a red flag. Of course, the omoluabi in any girl should help.
Yes.
But it should also set something into your head.
Exactly.
So I think that is the premise for what I was asking earlier, Osare. Is there a question that any young couple, man or woman, should ask about their potential in-laws? Is there a way to coin such a question?
There's no way to coin.
I think it is important to ask your partner about their parents, their lifestyle, their general disposition, and if you are privileged that maybe the person you want to marry, they have an older sibling that is married as well. To also ask the in-law as well that how has it been so far in the family, if they are willing to disclose. But I definitely think even before you meet them, those questions are important. Okay, how do they view respect?
Yes.
What is their definition of respect?
Respect,
because that's one thing. Would I say struggled with? Because I mean, I'm Edo and I'm coming into a full
Yoruba.
And then sometimes it might be to speak Yoruba. Apparently, I'm offending some people.
Oh my
and I'm genuinely just coming from a good place. I'm even trying to try to please you, but apparently it's offending someone. So I'm like, okay. Do I need to kneel down to greet? Do I need to, because where I'm from, it's not like that, right?
Yeah,
so
it's like that.
So those genuine questions that, okay, if I don't call, like, on your parents' birthday, do I need to call? Do I need to visit? Do they expect gifts? Okay, do they need to be, do they want to give a name to my son? Do they, those things, just so that I'm also preparing myself, that when I enter, I'm not just like, bush. But I would have had a premonition that, okay, this is the life I have chosen.
Interesting. Oh, sorry. So much wisdom flying around today. Now, if you're single, dating, engaged, or even married, this is one conversation you'll want to revisit. But for now, let's take a quick break with our life hack of the day. And when we return, we'll explore this topic a little more on our Agree or Disagree segment. Stay with us. Interesting. I love that hack. How you put tea bags in your shoes to take away the odor. And something that you find in bags when you just buy them, that's silica gel. I used to throw it away until I found out that they're supposed to help with things like that. Interesting. Now it's time for, of course, our fun and flow segment, the Agree or Disagree game, where we throw in some spicy statements and see how our panelists and audience feel about them. Now brace yourself. This might get a little controversial. Now, what's our Agree or Disagree question for today? People should live together before marriage to see what they're really like. People should live as lokolaya before marriage to see what they're really like. Do we agree or do we disagree? Chisom. You disagree.
Yes, so.
Why do you disagree?
Mother Teresa of Calcutta. So for me, so why I say disagree with red is because I'm wearing red. It's a danger zone. It's a danger zone, and so you can't leave. You can visit. You can come around. You can have lunch. Not sleepover.
You weekend.
But sometimes it gets very late.
Exactly.
Hey, get late, you come.
Vigilante outside, they say, coffee,
You
you just get tired.
You will book ride.
There's 24 hours in Lagos. Especially if I live in Lagos, so you can't sleep. Lagos does not sleep.
So you really don't think?
So for me, so there's a lot to unpack really, because you want to know how big the is. I want to know.
Oh wow! Okay, how do you know that?
And no, I say you. There's a lot to unpack.
You're supposed to have faith on that one. Believe.
You want to know if it
No,
fits.
but you will know. Let's
You want to know if it
because
fits.
if the guy is around you and he doesn't show that he's.
Please don't take over my this thing.
Sorry. I'm just telling young singles. That's how you know. Because some people say, "Oh, you want to test the car."
Why is she spoiling
You will not
my-
know if it's
my
functional.
job?
Sorry.
And so these are the things you want to know. I'm issuing a disclaimer.
I'm blushing.
You know, you should measure decorum. You should have
But
decorum.
you really don't think they need to live
They
together?
don't need to live.
find
They just
out.
need to, there could be swimming dates. There could be a lot of, things you can do.
Testing activities.
No, I'm not saying testing.
You don't test it properly.
test
You
it.
just look around.
You just look around. You
Okay.
survey the environment.
Okay.
You need to survey the environment.
Okay. Sorry, what about
you?
you?
need to
What
know
do you
what's
think?
Why are you always jumping me now?
Because I know that's your own, eh? Don't worry.
As always,
I want to
as
take time
always.
with it.
So
Sorry,
something
what do
we
you
do.
think?
So I disagree.
Why?
Right, I disagree because I mean you don't need to live together, right?
Really?
It's not biblical. It is not. I don't agree with it.
Church does not allow it.
However, right? However, I would say to some extent there needs to be some level of proximity for you to be
How
able
proximal?
to for you to be able to deal and understand with each other. Now, this is maybe because it's from personal experience. So before we got married, we were in a relationship before, but then there was long distance and that really affected us. So when we got together again, the first thing we wanted to eliminate was the distance. Right? But it was still Lagos, Ibadan, right? And I've also seen friends and people in similar situations where unfortunately they might not be able to, bridge that gap. So I would say don't live together, but to some extent maybe try to be close so you can easily visit. You can easily have dates to go out because not everything can be done on the phone. Not everything can, you can't do everything, virtually and all of it. So I believe there should still be some form of proximity that would, push that relationship to, through those
decision.
Yes. But if it's too, but not to live together.
Ronnie,
but
what
be,
do you think?
Be close.
Okay, agree or disagree? Agree.
We already know. We know now.
I have an idea.
What? Let me
come outside.
Should we do it together?
Let's do it together.
Come outside.
We 1, 2, 3, go!
That just happened. Please tell me why first. Tell me why first. Tell me why first. I am shocked. Wow. And I think you played reverse psychology because you knew what I thought you were going to do. Tell me why.
Okay, I will say it's not even about being biblical because not everybody is Christian, not everybody is religious. So it's actually fact. It's been backed that people who actually live together before they get married, oftentimes it ends up turning awry, in the long run. So there's no signs that backs that. Because how many people do you want to live with? You live with this person, you find that okay, his thing is not, his sex is not sweet enough. You move on to somebody. How many? That's it for me. And oftentimes the women, that's the loser because yes, I know we want to say women is a man's world, so women let us make it a woman's world as well. But if a woman is the one that is the receiver, and you are the one that keeps hopping, eventually it tells more on you than a man. So also because I'm a mom, I wouldn't advise my girls to to do that, but there are ways to know if a guy desires you. There's some women who have married and realize that okay, the guy is always acting like he's so Christian. They marry and in fact the guy is impotent. If a guy is around you and you get put touch and he doesn't have a small erection, it's a red flag that ways without living together. To know that a man is messy. Visit him too. His kitchen sink is dirty. You know that he's looking for a maid. He's not looking for a wife. His laundry is his boxers is like
And you see the conversation on social media about how many days people you're hearing people say 1 week, 2 weeks.
Exactly. So I wouldn't say live together. There are ways that you can spend a lot of time together, talking, watching, open your eyes, single lady. Open your eyes. Don't say, your laundry, you go there. Tell us. You agree?
Yes, I actually
do.
Really?
That people should live together?
Now, you raised an important part of the conversation about how many people do you want to live with. I think it's not at the boyfriend-girlfriend stage that you should live together, but as soon as, maybe after engagement, because I mean, you now have an intention on the way. I think before you get married, there should be a moment where you are not outside, but yet you're not inside yet. So let's know before I now put all my legs inside. Is this something I want to do? Of course, I mean, you know, the will you marry me part, not the engagement
what
part.
would you find out after that stage that will make you say, hey,
I'm not doing it again.
I'm not doing it again? What kind of thing would you find out after that stage that will make
you
you
did not
say,
find out
exactly before?
So maybe because you've only been visiting, he cleans every time you come. Now you see he's a pig.
We not living
And
because
so you
pig.
decide if you
put water on
want
the
to be
pig and tell
somebody's
him-
maid, if you can cope with that, you know. If he's someone who cannot help at all in the kitchen, you also have an idea, and you know if this aligns with your capacity. That's what I think.
I think you can find that out without living with it. If it's a pig, and I know that he does, the fact that he even cleans up before that mean, it shows me that he can clean up. So good. Well, I'll just say when we are married, I'll just be leaving the dirty on the floor. After when you are satisfied, you will clean up.
Can
So,
we
Surprise visits.
Exactly.
can we agree to
Someone's birthday is today.
happy birthday, Osare? Happy
We are
birthday.
saying we love you. God be with you till the end of time. May He say, well done.
Happy
Oh,
birthday.
love
We
you,
wish you many
Edo
happy
Queen.
returns.
What does it say?
Beautiful cake, by the way.
TQ.
What does that mean?
The Edo Queen.
Oh, TEQ.
TEQ.
I love that.
Oh,
Happy
take that,
birthday.
Makes sense. Oh my God, happy birthday, Osare.
much.
You're such a joy to be around. You are truly amazing. We love having you on this table, even though you are the Gen Z ambassador.
She
But you're
brings
blending
joy.
so well with us millennials. And we truly love you. Happy birthday.
Happy
Osare.
birthday.
Oh my
Happy
goodness.
birthday.
We love you.
Show them your cake now. Show them your cake.
It's pink and purple.
I know. Oh,
Thank you so much. I appreciate
fantastic.
it. Come to the studio, we'll share it.
Interesting. Now we'll take our wise word on the web before we wrap up really quickly. Never compare your marriage. Now this is important. Don't let anyone else's negative experiences shape your expectations or kill your hope. And that's from Ngina Otiende. A lot of people base their marriages around what they see on social media or what the lives of other people look like. And they shouldn't really, do that. All right, guys, that's a wrap on the Big Conversation for today. Whether you're planning your big day or reflecting on the journey so far, remember, saying I do is easy. Building a life together, that's where the real work begins. Join us next time for another powerful conversation that just might change your perspective. Till then, stay curious, stay open, and keep having the
Big conversation. It's actually our 5th